engineering conference. Make sure that we have plenty of redundancy. So we've got two cameras on at once here. Here we go. Folks, hi. This is Dr. Kat Schreier of WaterCitizen Media Nation and WaterCitizen News. I'm here with our California State Treasurer, as well as a candidate for governor, and we're here at the Floodplain Management Association meeting and talking about some of the financial aspects of both prevention and mitigation of risks related to floods and related disasters. Here we are, we've got just finished an Irma coming in other part of the country here in California.
Right in California, right? Yes. If you look at the history, people will think, right, you're looking at Texas, looking for, think about certain corners of California. No, but it happens throughout California.
Yeah, exactly. So talking about disasters, certainly coastal, looking at the length of our coastline, as well as disasters related to infrastructure. So Oroville being the largest, or perhaps one of the largest evacuations, not related to a hurricane. Right. So what are the financial ramifications, and how does it affect the Treasury when we have these sorts of disasters, both the insurance aspects and the response aspects?
Well, we don't have a lot of that budgeted. Right, part of it is those in the offices is going to have to explain, costs of our infrastructure. Right, the infrastructure is a term it doesn't. Right, you guys saying these are your local streets, these are your this is your groundwater storage, these are the various conveyances. As you drove over, you hit a pothole, it's real. So we had to have upfront conversation. Heard how you're, like you got broken toilets. There's going to be we had to budget set aside money for when those things happen. Also, because if you don't plan for it early and you care cost. And so let's be smart and plan for it on a yearly basis. Let's think about it.
We have any we've seen a big injury associated with folks not here.
I'm sure right, we save some money. You'll have coastal pollution, coastal activities. What happened in Minnesota, right? This last passage of the gas taxes, right? We wanted to fix 500 bridges. We won't that disaster. Hopefully, we'll never experience that disaster. Smart going forward.
Right. So loss of catastrophic loss of infrastructure, and not having the money to pay for it if we don't have the tax.
Some of the earthquakes we experience. Right?
You also talked about the education system and the cost of money that's put into the state school system here in California. Enormous. Some of the tools in the tree, particularly in respect to science and engineering and some of the disciplines here in the water arena, and it does make a difference where you go to school. But you also talked about the cost of housing and cost of living where students are leaving the state, because so tell us a little about that.
Yeah, you point to a very important issue, right? It's become much more financially stressful for middle class and lower income Californians, right? The wage increases that we've witnessed over the last couple of decades have not matched what we're seeing with, spiraling costs here in California, spiraling costs, and so they're more difficult. And then when the state hasn't budgeted properly, we've had increase during downturns in the economy, the cost of tuition fees. So when you think about that 10-year period around that last deep recession, 2008, 2009, we increased tuition fees by 9%. Students who went to the University of California and Cal State universities. We increased tuition fees at community college students by 130%. Now, relative to other jurisdictions, it's affordable, but here we have 1/5 but more than 1/5 of all California poverty. So if we want to have a strong, vibrant economy, we need to get of this state and the economics more balanced so that people live their California dream.
Why do you think we're seeing that 1/5 of the state is poverty? And
so part of it is income, right? We work on, it's only become more competitive. You have artificial intelligence, you have automation, you have the robotics. It's going to have a dislocating effect. Others will have an empowering effect. Some communication, we have to think about how we have that available. That we continue to provide people with the training and skills so that they can remain competitive in the 21st century. Our housing costs, we're 1.5 million units short, right? So there's such high demand, not sufficient supply, other types of issues that really drive the cost and pushes more Californians in poverty.
Just curious about the minimum wage, and as minimum wage is increasing, what are you seeing some of the impacts, both in terms of individuals and in terms of businesses?
Well, I think that's going to play out. We'll see what the impacts are. Part of that message is we wanted to have people with better financial wherewithal so that they can capture some of the inflation, some of the increased costs for things that they need. An apartment to live in, for electricity, to pay for education, right? We'll see what the impacts to the employment opportunities are on the other hand.
Whether they're even getting a full 40 hours a week, or if it's
that's right,
causing employers to kind of piece up those hours, and many people, and then nobody has enough to survive on. As far as issuing topics is partnerships. Partnerships between the state and the local county city agencies, usually with floodplain mandates, integration of what's happening at the state level, happening at the local level, and considerations like rules for development, rules for housing, for projects. How do you see that as the both financially and statewide, the relationship between the agencies and the local governments on these sorts of integrated resource management planning type programs?
I think it's absolutely essential, and we need to have more of it. You'll have very responsible officials. Water management may not be their ex-body of expertise. Right? The local elected officials, come in and could be very serious, very earnest. They could be very responsible. But let's say they're a medical doctor. Right? What do you know about water policy? Or your accountant. What do you know about climate change? What do you know about management, budgeting? That have for your jurisdiction, pensions, healthcare. There's a lot of things to learn, so it's really important that people come and you're sincere. They understand that you together as a community that need responsible leadership. So be that leadership and help each other out. And we're going to need a persona, not to be trying to be critical, but it appears that we're going to get less financial support from Washington, D.C. Right? They have shifted priorities, and so investments in education, investments in infrastructure, investments in healthcare look like it is going to be reduced, and that's going to shift more of the burdens on Californians. And Californians in so many respects are already hard pressed. Many of them are stressed, many of them are overwhelmed trying to make it work. So to have Washington, D.C. place and impose greater obligations and responsibilities on local residents, we need Californians to come together and say we need smart policies, right? To the president and Congress, you said you're going to come up with an infrastructure plan. It's been 9 months to see the infrastructure plan, right? Because that's what this conference is about. We saw Oroville, right? We're witnessing, the devastation to the good people in Texas, right? You have the Florida governor issuing warnings about Hurricane Irma down in Florida. So we need serious people to address these issues.
And to kind of wrap up with a question about communication and continuing education for, whether you're thinking of running for public office, whether you think you're, you want to serve on a local board, whether you're just a concerned citizen. Part of our role as media is that, as intelligent, informed media, is to help communicate some of the issues, and does include financial issues. And one of the things that's really an issue in California is some of the constraints on and charge the fees that they need to charge to upgrade systems, and what's considered part of a sewer and what isn't, and all of these little constraints on when you can.
Proposition 218.
Thank you.
You have it right when you have those who are, really using what most people deem as excessive amounts of water. Right, but then you can't charge them for using, additional water, abusing the privilege. We need, we ought to rethink some of that. We understand we're not trying to impose tons of taxes on Californians, but we need a tool to say, you shouldn't be using 13,000 gallons, a month, something like that.
How can we better communicate some of the financial issues in terms that everyday citizens can understand when it comes to what these monies are used for when localities are trying to put in place some of the funding for these water infrastructure systems and floodplain protection.
We need common citizens. You'll always have those who are more active sharing with each other. Right? America used to trust their neighbors more, but part of this is, right, you get to know your neighbors, have these conversations.
Yeah.
Right? Those who are neighbors who won't fix those leaks, those who are abusing those privileges, are at the end of the day costing us more money. And so let's bring the community together and have reasonable conversations, as we should, about what's smarter water policy, or whatever issue, better education policy, better healthcare policy, so that our futures are better.
Well, and one of the things that we're doing is creating online communities for water interested citizens. We're starting with a special one for what we're calling Harvey impacted persons, not hurricane impacted persons, with Irma coming on board. Basically a community where folks can come and share information and get access to experts. So we'd love to talk to you on that, and anything we can do in California to help educate citizens through media on water. We're happy to help, and thank you so much for your time.
What's your doctorate then?
PhD in civil engineering.
Excellent.
Water resources planning from Colorado State.
Oh, very good. Excellent.
All right.
You guys are supposed to be good this year.
Yeah, there you go. Talking football. Guys.
You had a good first game, right?